Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Beautiful night we're having tonight. It's, we've got one gloomy show in here, but some of them are pretty fun. So I'm Greg Carter. I'm the producer of the hopefully first annual One Act. This is a kind of unprecedented One Act, as everybody knows, with this social distance and mask thing going on. If I would ask that everybody please keep your mask on unless you're eating or drinking something. We are, and as far as the actors are concerned, we gave the actors an option to wear masks if they want to, but they are socially distant from you. So just a couple of things. Exits are on either side here. There are bathrooms out beyond the concession stand that are covered and lit and everything. So if the bathrooms here are full during intermission, we will have a 15-minute intermission, of which you can go and partake of the refreshments out there. Let's see. And we have a show. We're going to try to do the same thing this winter, this December. We're going to do a show called Christmas Carol here, where we're going to have a very small audience with, we've actually got more people online right now than we do in this auditorium right now. So, and then next spring we're going to be doing And Then There Were None, directed by one of our actors here, John MacArthur. So without further ado, here is the One Act Festival presented by Goose Creek Players. Thank you.
Get in there, Mr. Revenue. Woo! Now you're gonna have to excuse the boys for making a demonstration over you, but well, they don't get to see too many of you revenue folk too often, and well, it always gets them excited.
I appreciate that. I'm welcome.
Oh yeah, well, indeed you is. Indeed you is. Now I want to untie your hands here just long enough for you to take a sociable drink. Yeah, I reckon you're traveling peaceable. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Ooh. Yes, Mr. Revenue. I reckon I thought that you was going to start to neglect us. I figure it's been about 2 years since one of you boys came around here, and I was really hoping that you was Jim Dunn. Have a drink.
No, thank you. Your make is too strong for me.
Oh, now, it ain't no luck to be drinking alone, especially when you got company. You best have some.
Very well, my friend. I suffer willingly.
I reckon you don't like the flavor of liquor that ain't been stamped.
It's not that bad.
Well, the last revenue sat there in that chair. He got drunk on my mate.
That wouldn't be difficult.
But it was awkward.
Why?
Well, I had to wait for him to sober up before I gave him his ticker. I didn't feel like sending him to heaven drunk, and well, it'd have been awkward for him climbing that golden ladder.
Thoughtful executioner.
So you see, just maybe you can delay things a little bit by dallying with the liquor.
The price is too great.
Oh, I was really hoping that you was Jim Dunn, but nah, I reckon you ain't. You don't answer to his likeness.
Who's Jim Dunn?
Now, who's Jim Dunn? Now, you ought to know who Jim Dunn is. Now, he's probably the worst of you revenue critters that ever hit these parts. He's got 4 boys down in jail right now. We got us a little reception for Jim Dunn when he does show. See that?
Yes.
Well, that's Jim Dunn.
Doesn't look much like anyone.
Well, that's what Jim Dunn will look like once we get a hold of him. I am mighty sorry that you ain't Jim Dunn.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Nah, it's all right. I reckon one revenue's as good as another.
Are you sure I'm a revenue officer?
Well, since we catched you climbing in the trees and snooping around the stills, I reckon we ain't got much choice.
Oh,
Hey, maybe you'd like a cigar. I know I got one around here somewhere. I've been saving it just in case I had company.
no.
Here. No, it ain't no luck to be smoking alone, especially when you got company. Now, come on, you best smoke. Here we go now. There you go. Oh, now that's as fine a 5-cent cigar you're ever going to get in Henderson.
You make death very easy, mister.
Mister, no, now call me Luke. That's my name, Luke. It'll make you feel as if you had a friend here at the end. Now, my name's Luke Hazy.
Not the Luke Casey that cleaned out the Crosby family.
Well, now, how did you hear about that?
Hear about it? Your name's in every newspaper in the United States. Every time you kill another Crosby, the feud is told all over again. I've seen your picture in the paper 20 times.
I ain't never had one took.
That doesn't stop me from printing it. You mean to tell me you never read the newspapers?
Me? Read? I ain't read nothing in 30 years. I don't reckon I could read 2 lines in an hour.
You're missing a lot of information about yourself.
Say, how many Crosbys they say I killed?
Well, I think the last report said you had just removed the 12th.
12? That's a lie. I only killed 6 of them. That's all there was that was growed. Well, there's another one. He's about 13.
When will he be ripe?
Oh, when he comes looking for me.
Will he come?
Oh, he'll come. He'll come if he's a Crosby.
Brave family?
They do not make him any braver than them. Yeah, I tell you, they'd be top-rate folk if they weren't Crosbys.
If you feel that way, why did you start fighting them?
Oh, hold on. I never started fighting nobody. It was my granddaddy had some sort of misunderstanding with their granddaddy, and, well, I don't know what it was about, but I reckon my granddaddy was right. And I'll see it through.
You must think a lot about your grandfather.
You know, I ain't never seen him, but, well, ain't no luck going against your kinfolk. Now, come on, won't you have a drink?
No. No, thank you.
Well, Mr. Revenue, I reckon we just better have this over with.
What?
Well, you ain't going to get drunk, and I can't be put to having somebody guard you, so.
That'll not be necessary.
Oh, I know you like this here place now, but you may get it into your mind to go out for a walk this evening.
But I won't walk out unless you make.
Oh, ain't like I'll let you go, but I wouldn't blame you none if you tried.
But I'll not.
Mr. Revenue, I am starting to wonder if you know exactly what you're up against.
What do you mean?
I mean, I gotta kill you.
Well, that lets me out.
Now, what do you mean?
I mean, I've been trying to kill myself for the last 2 months, but I haven't had the nerve.
Kill yourself?
Yes.
Suicide?
Yes. Now that you're willing to kill me, the problem is solved.
Now, what do you want to commit suicide for?
I just want to stop living, that's all.
No. You got to have a reason.
No special reason. I find life dull, and I just want to get out of it.
Dull.
Yes. I hate to go to bed. I hate to get up. I don't care for food. I can't drink liquor. I find people either malicious or dull. I see by the fate of my acquaintances, both men and women, that love is a farce. I've seen fame and preference come to those who least deserve them, while the whole world kicked and cuffed the worthy ones. The craftier schemer gets the most money and glory, while the fair-minded dealer is humiliated at the bankruptcy court. In the name of the law, every crime is committed. In the name of religion, every vice is indulged. In the name of education, greatest ignorance is rampant.
Well, I don't get none of that, but no, I reckon you're some put out.
I am. The world's a failure. What's more, it's a farce. I don't like it. But I can't change it. So I'm just aching for a chance to get out of it. And you, my friend, you are going to provide me the opportunity.
Oh, it ain't that bad, is it?
Worse! 20 times I've had the revolver in my head, crazy to die. And then, as my finger pressed the trigger, I'd be filled with a terrible dread. A dread that I was plunging in the worst terrors than this world ever knew. If killing were the end, it would be easy. But what if it's only the beginning of something worse?
No. You've got to take some chances.
I'll not take that one. You know, Mr. Luke, life is given to us by someone who probably never intended that we should take it. And that someone has something ready for people who destroy his property. That's what frightens me.
Now, you do too much worrying to be a regular old suicide.
Yes, I do. That's why I changed my plan.
Plan? What plan?
My plan for dying.
Oh, so you haven't given up on the idea.
Oh, no, indeed. I'm still determined to die, but I'm going to make someone else responsible.
Oh, so you want somebody else to pay for your own funeral music? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes. I'll furnish the passenger, but someone else must pay for the ticket. You see, when I finally decided to be killed, I immediately exposed myself to every danger that I knew.
How's that?
In 1,000 ways. Did you ever see an automobile?
No.
They go faster than steam engines, and they don't even stay on the tracks. Now, you ever hear of Fifth Avenue in New York?
No.
Fifth Avenue is jammed with automobiles, 8 deep, all day long. People being killed every day. I crossed Fifth Avenue 1,000 times a day, every day for weeks. Never once trying to get out of the way. Always praying I'd be hit.
Well, couldn't you just get hit?
No. Automobiles only hit people who try to get out of the way. So when that failed, I frequented the lowest dives on the Bowery, flashing a roll of money, wearing diamonds, hoping I'd be killed for them. Well, they stole the money and the diamonds, but they never touched me.
Well, couldn't you just, I don't know, pick a fight?
I'm getting to that. You know how up north they say that a man in the South can be killed just for calling another man a liar?
Well, that's right.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've called men liars from Washington to Atlanta, and I'm here to tell you about it.
Oh, no. They must have taken pity on you.
Well, you know that fellow named Two Gun Jake who runs a dive down in Henderson?
I should say I do. He's killed enough of them.
He's a bad man, isn't he?
Oh, he is no trifler.
I stumbled into his place 2 nights ago, pretending to be drunk. Jake was cursing black folks.
Oh, he's always doing that.
Well, I elbowed my way up to the bar and announced that I was an expert in the discovery of black blood. I could tell a black man who's 7/8 white.
Oh, you can?
No, I can't, but I made him believe that I could.
Huh.
So I lined them all up, and I looked at them. I passed them all. Now, a couple of them ran away, but most of them stood for it. I got to Two Gun Jake. I examined his eyeballs, looked at his fingernails, and said, "You're black."
And what'd Jake do?
He turned pale. He took me into the back room and he said, "Honest to God, mister, can you really see some black blood in me?" I said, "Yes." He said, "There's no doubt about it?" I said, "Not one bit." He said, "Good God, I always suspected as much." And then he took out his revolver.
Yeah, Han, yeah.
And he shot himself.
Jake shot himself. Is he dead?
I don't know. I was too disgusted to wait. I wandered around till I thought of you moonshine. I scrambled around till I came upon your still. I sat on it. Your boy showed up. Here I am. And now you are going to kill me.
Yeah. I reckon you're gonna get your wish now.
Good. You're my last hope. If I fail this time, I might as well give it up.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear anything.
I reckon I'm getting careless. Leaving this gun laying here. Didn't you see it?
Yes.
And you didn't grab at it?
What for?
Well, to get the drop on me, of course.
Can't you understand what I've been telling you, mister? I don't want to drop on you.
Well, doggone it! I don't believe you're telling me the truth. Just thought I'd see what you do. I emptied it first.
That was not necessary.
Well, mister, I reckon you just better get on out of here.
So you're weakening on me.
Ho! You ain't got no right to ask me to do your killing for you, especially if you ain't sport enough to do it yourself.
I told you why I don't want to do it myself. One murder more or less means nothing to you. You don't even believe in the hereafter.
Oh, maybe I don't, but I reckon I shouldn't take any more chances. And, well, the way you've been talking, I reckon there's some sort of charm on you. And it ain't no luck going against no charm.
So you're going to go back on me.
Oh, yes, sirree.
Well, maybe some of the other boys will do it now. I'll just wait around till...
Oh, no. The other boys ain't going to see you. And you're getting out of here right now. Come on, now. They've got no right to expect us to bear your burdens.
Damn it all. I guess I spoiled it again.
Now, looky here. You've got one horse just sitting out there. You can take it into town. Just drop it at 2 gun Jake's. I'll just send one of the boys to go pick it up. You know, maybe I'll come get it myself and just see if Jake made a job of it. Get on out of here.
I don't suppose there's any use arguing with you.
No, there's not. Come on.
Well, I tell you what. Before I go, can I write my address down? That way, if you ever come to New York, you can look me up.
Ain't likely I'm coming to New York.
Well, I'd like to write it down anyway. Have you a piece of paper?
Paper? That's what you write on? No, I ain't got no paper.
If you don't mind, I'll put it on the back of Jim Dunn's picture. Now, I'll tell you what. I'll print it nice and neat so you can read it. But that way, if you change your mind, you can send for it.
Ain't likely I'm going to change my mind.
Right there.
Come on, mister. Goodbye.
Well, goodbye.
Oh, now don't look so glum. Let me hear you laugh out loud. Just once before you go. You can laugh out harder than that. Oh, come on, harder yet. Laugh out loud. Woo! J-I-M. Jim Dunn. By God! By God, that was Jim Dunn! And he begged me to kill him!
Are you glad to be home again, Mary?
The garden is so pretty.
It hasn't changed much, Kate.
Same is different. Perhaps it's the nights.
Why, I guess it isn't up to its usual standard. No, I haven't seen your mother out there so often lately this spring.
Mr. Arspell, no good for flowers.
Well, you know, it's only the cultivated ones that need caring. You know, you can't help thinking that when you look at the wild ones growing so hardily on my fields on the hill. Is there any more of that spring mixture left, Emily?
I haven't checked lately.
I'll order some more tomorrow. I think it would be a good idea, daughter, if you were to spray those rose bushes every couple of weeks. Bugs have been a real pest this spring. Where is my tobacco?
On the mantle.
I wish you would leave it on the table. You know how I hate to have things changed.
How's Ben been doing these 2 years, Father?
Now, has your brother written you?
Only once, when I left home. He disapproved too.
Well, he's got an older brother's feeling of wanting to take care of you, Mary.
Yes, I know. How is he doing?
He's commencing to get on his feet. You know, it takes time and money for anyone to get started these days.
But he's still in partnership with Bert Taylor, isn't he?
Yes. You know, he'd been somewhere by now if he'd started in with me as I did with my father. Things should be handed down. I offered them the chance. Tried to make him take it, as your mother knows. That college chum of his. He was a nice enough fellow, I've heard. Turned his head another way. Well, it's best to humor a young fellow's ideas, if he sticks them out. But I'd like to have had us all here together by now. The place is plenty big, even if he should want to marry. You know, your mother and I moved in here when your grandfather was still alive.
Then Ben isn't making any money?
No, not yet, not to speak of.
But he promised to pay your father back, Mary.
Steve. College and then more help to get started. Because he's a man.
Well, he'll have to support a family someday. I've had to keep that in mind.
I'd like to have a real talk with him.
When did that letter say he'd be coming for a visit, Emily?
The 15th. Not till then. That's too bad.
Huh?
Father, I hope you didn't misunderstand my coming back.
Oh, not at all. You know, we all make mistakes, especially when we're young. Perhaps I was a bit hasty on you when you left home, but I knew you would soon see that I was right. I didn't think it would take you 2 years. Perhaps if I had before, you'd come home sooner. And I told your mother I'd like to make it easy for you to come home.
Mother suggested you write me?
Well, yeah, I suppose you could put it that way. You know, your mother always thought I was a bit hard on you, but I'm not one to back down easily.
Don't blame me then, Father, if I showed out as your daughter.
Let's forget about my feeling. But naturally, I was set back.
Because you didn't take my going seriously until I was actually leaving.
Couldn't get it into my head then, and I can't now. How any girl would want to leave a home like this where you've got everything? You don't know how lucky you are. You have realized it. Look about you and see. Is it like this with the other girls? Huh? Trees, flowers, and Lakeview that's the best in the county. One can breathe the air here and almost taste it. You know, every time I come home from a business trip, it makes a new man out of me. Ask your mother, hey, Emily? And I sit out there on the back porch in the cool of the evening. I feel at ease with the world to know that the place is mine. I raised a family, and I can take care of all of them. Ben had to go, I suppose. It is the way with sons. But I thought you, at least, daughter, would want to stay in this old house where you were born, or I was born, where all your early associations.
I hate associations.
I'd like to know where you get that from. Not from your mother and me. We like them, don't we, Emily? Well, your mother's hardly even left here, but you had to up and get out.
Yes, that's right, Father. I had to.
Had to? Who made you?
Something inside me.
Oh, such foolishness.
Don't make it hard for us again.
I made it hard, Mary, because I objected to you leaving your mother here alone.
I remember. Said I was a foolish, stage-struck girl.
Well, you're over that now, aren't you?
That's just where you're mistaken, Father. That's why I asked you if you had misunderstood my coming back.
Why did you come back at all?
I'm human. I wanted to see my mother, so I came when you generously wrote me. I'm not going to stay and spray the roses.
You're not going to stay with your mother and me.
I'll come and visit you as often as I can.
Oh, yes, and make a hotel out of your home. Can't you see that your mother's getting older and tired and needs somebody to be here?
I've never been more contented and happy.
Now, I know better, Emily.
I don't know.
Can't I see that you're getting thinner and older? Let me manage this here. It's a girl's place to stay at home. You know my feelings on that. I suppose something that should happen to a mother. What would I do?
So it's not mother alone you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of your place at home, doing a woman's work.
Lord.
I'm not proud of my daughter offering her own living as though I could support her.
I thought it was only because I was on the stage.
Well, it's not the most glamorous place, is it? You know, a lot of narrow-minded folks in town thought I was crazy to let you go. I knew how they felt, and I grinned and I bore it. But you're my daughter, and I loved you. Didn't want them thinking any the less of you by their finding out that you left against my wish.
That's what hurt me.
I blame myself a bit for taking you to plays and liking myself.
People here will soon forget about me and merely be sorry for you.
I'm married. I made it easy for you to stay. I told everyone you were coming home for good. I don't think me a fool now if you were to...
That was dear and good, Father. You had no right to say that. I'm sorry.
I did it because I thought you'd come to your senses.
I never saw so clearly as I do now.
You're stubborn, plain stubborn not to admit your failure.
Failure?
Oh, yes, I know what the newspapers said. Ben sent them to me.
Which ones?
All of them, I guess.
Did he send you the good ones?
Were there any?
Oh, I see. So Ben carefully picked out only those which would please you.
Please me?
Yes, because you and he didn't want me to succeed, because you thought that failure would bring me home. Don't you think I'll let some cub reporter settle things for me? I'll never come home through failure. Never.
Ben and I only want to protect you, man.
Why do men always want to protect women?
Because we know the world.
Yes, but you don't know me. Father, you still think I'm only a foolish stage strucker who wants flowers and men and my name in big letters. Isn't that?
Well, what is it then?
I want to become an artist. Don't suppose you could understand it. I didn't myself at first. I was born with it. I didn't know what it was until that first time you took me to the theater.
So it was all my fault.
It's anybody's fault. It's just a fact. I knew from that day what I wanted to do. I wanted to act, to create. I don't care whether I play a leading lady or a scrub woman. I can do it with truth and beauty.
Haven't done much of either, have you? What have you got to show for our unhappiness? What have you got ahead of yourself?
Nothing definite.
Yet you're going to keep at it?
Yes.
What do you think of that, Emily?
I'm going to the city Monday.
Yes, but what will you do when you get there?
What I've done before. Hunt a job, tramp the streets, call up the offices. Get snubbed and insulted by office boys. Keep at it till I get something to do.
Come, Mary. Don't make me lose my patience. Put your pride in your pocket. You've had your fling, you've tried and failed. You might as well stay home and be comfortable.
Father, I can't give it up. It doesn't make any difference how they treat me. How many times I get my notice and don't even make good according to their standards. I can't give it up. I simply can't. It keeps gnawing inside me, driving me on. It's there. It's always there. And I know if I keep at my work, I will succeed. I know it. I know it.
Something inside. Have you any clear idea what she's talking about, Emily?
I think I understand.
I don't. Something inside. Never had anything like that bothering me. What's it all mean?
So many people use the same words and yet cannot understand one another.
You seem to think it's mighty important, Mary, or whatever it is, but it's too much for me. Why, if you'd had something to show for it, I wouldn't mind. But you're just where you started. You might as well give up.
George,
Now, Emily, I don't know much about the theater, but Ben does. Says you're not made for an actress, Mary. You haven't got a chance.
Father,
Can't you see that you're a failure? It isn't your own fault. Why, if you were a beauty like Helen Safford or one of those other stars, you're not pretty. You're not even good looking.
Don't go any further! I know all that! I don't care how I look off the stage, if only I can grow beautiful on it. I'll create with so much inner power and beauty that people soon forget how I look and only see what I think and feel. I can do it. I have done it. I've made audiences feel and even gotten my notice because the stage manager said I was too natural. Helen Safford? What's she? A professional beauty with everything outside and nothing in. You think of her eyes, her mouth, and her profile. But does she touch you so you remember? I know her work. Wait till I get a chance to play a scene with her, which they may give me because I'm not good looking. I'll make the audience forget she's on stage for the first 10 minutes. Yes, you and Ben too. You'll come. Helen Safford. Why, people remember me. She's only a lithograph.
Well then, why haven't you had your chance?
Because most managers feel the way you and Ben do, and then having a lovely profile and fashion play figure stands between me and the chance to even read a part, let alone play it. Eats the heart out of me, Mother. Makes me hate my face every time I sit down. Crazy.
Don't blame me for that.
You can laugh, Father. You don't understand. It's foolish to talk. Oh, Mother. I have such beauty, even to a woman like Helen Safford, who has no intermediate. And here am I, with a real creative gift, wrapped up in a nondescript package. It's between me, everything I want to do. But I will. Ultimately, I will succeed in spite of my looks. Others have, and what I've suffered will make me a greater artist.
Are you sure all this just isn't overconfidence and vanity?
I don't care what you call it. It keeps me working.
Working? How can you work when you have no engagement?
That is the hard part of my life. Waiting. Waiting for a chance to work. But don't think I stand idle when I haven't an engagement. I don't dare. That's why I keep at my voice work and dancing.
Oh, yes. Dancing and voice work. Do you mind telling me who's paying the bills?
Father.
I think I have the right to ask that.
Have you?
Well, I am your father.
You thought you forced me here at home to do as you wish because you paid for my moving clothes? When you took that from me, cease to have that. Don't forget, since I've left, you've not helped me with my work or given me a penny.
Mary, it's not why you went away from home.
No.
Then you met some man there then.
No.
There is some man.
Why a man?
Because, dang it, I know them. Good God, Mary dear, you haven't. Answer me, daughter.
No. There's no need of that.
Then who helped you then? Ben?
How could he help me? Are men the only ones who help women?
tell me, Mary. It's best now.
You knew, and you kept it from me.
I found I hadn't lost my skill, George. But it's been a good many years since I held a brush. Well, before we were married. I had an idea I thought would sell. Paper dolls with little hand-painted dresses on separate sheets. They're so much softer than the printed kind, and children like anything soft. Well, I wrote Mr. Allen, you remember. He was so kind to me years before. He called by here once, so I wrote away, asked after my work. He used to say I had such promise. Well, they found an opportunity to use the dolls as a specialty. And when I explained, he induced other firms to use all I could paint too. They paid very well, and I was able to help Mary when she went behind.
You? After you heard me tell her when she left that I wouldn't give her a cent?
You were keeping Ben, weren't you?
Well, it's different.
I didn't see why we shouldn't help both of you.
You took it.
Yes.
And you knew how your mother got that money.
Yes.
Your mother working herself sick for you, and you took it.
I told you, George. I'd never been so happy.
I couldn't bargain with what I felt. I had to study. I'd have taken anything, gotten it anywhere. I had to live. You didn't help me. And I both went against your will, but you helped him because he was your son. I was only your daughter.
Mary, I didn't realize how much you meant to me until I thought of what might have happened to you without my help. Would you have stayed on in the city if your mother hadn't helped you?
Yes, Father. I would have stayed on.
I guess what you feel is stronger than anything your mother and I tried to teach you. Are you too proud to take my help now?
No, Father, till I succeed. Then I'll pay you back like Ben promised.
You don't think it was the money, daughter? It would have cost to keep you here. It wasn't that.
No, it was your father speaking. His father and his father. And perhaps I was speaking for those before me who were silent or couldn't be heard.
I don't exactly understand any of that, any more than that feeling you spoke of driving you from home. But I do see what you mean about brothers and sisters. You seem to think that boys and girls are the same. They're not. Men and women are different. You know, you may not know it, but your mother once had foolish ideas like you have. Back when I first knew her, she was poor. She didn't have a mother to support her, and she had to work for a living. Oh, but she'd all but given up when I first met her. She was working by night to feed herself by day while studying. She was sensible. A good man came along that could support her. She married him, settled down. Look how happy she is here with a home of her own. It is a home with associations and children. Think where she'd be today, struggling and trying to make a living out of painting pictures. Plenty of men who can paint pictures, but there are too few good wives for hard-working, decent men who want to raise a family, which is God's law. Find that out one of these days. You'll want to give yourself as she did. Someday a man will come along and you're going to want to marry him. How could you if you keep on with your business gallivanting about the country?
You leave Mother at times, don't you?
Well, I've got to.
So may I.
The children.
They have a share of my life.
My big share for the human eye, I tell you. Ask your mother if you think they're easy coming and bringing up.
And now, you left her. Dear mother, what is she to do?
If you ever get a husband with those ideas of yours, you'll find out what a wife has to do. Mary, it hasn't been easy, all this you've been saying. Your mother and I are left here alone. Perhaps we have different viewpoints than you have, but if ever you see it our way and give it up or fail, come back to us. Understand?
I understand how hard it was for you to say that. And remember, I may come back a success.
Yeah, I suppose they all think that. It's what keeps them going. Someday, when you're in love and married, you'll see things differently.
Father, what if the man doesn't come? or the children.
Why, nonsense. They'll come, they always do.
I wonder.
Emily, dear, no wonder those flowers have been neglected. Well, you'll have time enough to paint those rose bushes yourself. Oh, I made a joke. Spray those rose bushes. I'll get some more of that spray mixture tomorrow. Paper dolls that change your clothes. But I might have been sitting on the money the whole time without us even feeling it. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to now. I shan't let you get tired and sick. It's one thing I do draw the line at. Well, yeah, getting late. I best go lock up. You know, the paper says it's going to rain tomorrow.
At the art school, they said I had a lovely sense of color. Your father's so kind. He just doesn't understand how much I enjoy painting again. Even paper dolls.
Mother, you too?
Well, you best close up the other windows when you come in.
But you must understand that marriage, my daughter, is a most reverend and serious responsibility, which should be approached in a manner fittingly considerate of its grave responsibility.
Truly reverend and most serious, Father, but I like not to worry about it.
I fear thou lookest upon the matter too lightly. It is not seemly to treat such a momentous occasion thus flippantly.
Nay, why consider at all? Marriage is yet a great way off. Mayhap I shall never leave thee.
Thou little thinkest that I may suddenly be called upon to leave thee. The good word cautions us to boast not of ourselves of the morrow, for we know not what a day may bring forth.
Father, surely thou art not feeling well, perhaps?
Nay, child, be not alarmed. Tis but a most necessary lesson to be learned and laid upon in the heart. I will not always be with thee, and I like to be comfortably assured of thy welfare before I go.
Be comfortably assured then, my pretty. I have no fears.
Ah, there it is. Thou hast no fears. If only thou had some. If thy prudent and virtuous mother had only lived to point the way, I would be spared this anxiety. But beset by diverse difficulties in establishing the kingdom of God in this country, and being sorely harassed with many hardships by evil men, I fear me I have not propounded to thee as much as I ought.
In what then is my education lacking? Have I not all that is fitting and proper for a maiden to know?
I know not. I've done my best, but thou hast not the proper attitude of mind befitting a maiden about to enter the married estate.
Nay, but I'm not about to enter the married estate.
It is time.
Entreat thee not to leave thee, Father, nor forsake thee. For whither thou goest, I will go. And whither...
Betty, It ill befitteth a daughter of mine to quote the scripture with such seeming irreverence. I will not be parted from thee. Yet thou wert promised to some godly and upright soul that guide thee yet more surely in the paths of righteousness. There be many such.
Yea, too many.
What meanest thou?
One were one too many, when I would have none.
Betty, Betty, when wilt thou be serious? There is a goodly youth among the friends surrounding thee, who I've often marked, both for his godly demeanor and simple wisdom.
Yea, simple.
I speak of Adoniah Wigglesworth, a most estimable young gentleman, acquaintance who thou would do well to cultivate.
Yea, cultivate.
What thinkest thou?
A saw too dense for any polisher. My whip would break in the turning.
His is a strong nature, born to drive and not be driven. There's not such another, yea, not in the whole of Boston.
Nay, I've lately heard there be many such.
Mayhap would thou like to name a few?
I, that I can. There's Marcus Ansley.
A goodly youth that has an eye for books.
One I sayest thou? Nay, four. And since I am neither morocco bound nor edge of guilt, let us consign to the shelf where he find his close compensation.
Okay. How about a man of action then should appeal to thy fresh taste? What sayest thou to Jeremiah Wadsworth?
Too brash and rash for me, and I'll have none of him. There's Percy Lane,
The bluest blood in Boston.
yet that not be everything, and Jonas Appleby,
He hath in a land of worldly goods.
especially the larder. To marry him would be an everlasting round between the tankard and the kettle. Let us look yet further. James Edicott,
There be a lad for thee. Birth, breeding, a well-favored countenance, and most agreeable.
most agreeable unto himself. 'Twere a pity to disturb such unanimity. Let us look yet further. Charles Manning, any please?
It pleaseth me not. I know the ilk. His father before him was servant of the devil and King Charles. With other of his kind, he has brought dissension to the good men of Harvard, many who are dedicated to the service of the Lord. With his wicked apparel and ungodly fashion of wearing his hair in a manner of Russians and barbarous Indians. Many there with him brought up in such pride as doth in no ways become the service of the Lord. The devil himself had laid hold of our young men, so they do evaporate senseless, useless, noisy, impertinency, wherever they may be. And now it has even gone out the pulpits of the land, to the great grief and fear of many godly hearts.
But Charles!
Speak not that scapegrace in my presence.
Truly, Father, thou knowest not.
Name him not, I will not have it. Compared with Adoniah, he is but a reed shaken in the wind, whereas Adoniah resembleth a tree planted in the river of the waters.
Converse of the devil, and thou wilt behold his horns. Even now he approaches the knocker.
Betake thyself to thine own chamber, with thine unseemly tongue, which so ill befitteth a maid.
Good morrow, Reverend Sir.
Enter, and doubly welcome.
I would inquire whether thy daughter Betty is within.
We have been speaking of thee as I not sounded. Betty will not here, is not here presently. She hath but retired for the moment. Remove thy hat and make thyself in comfort. So how has that been since I've seen thee last?
My business prospereth, but not as finely as it might well do.
Thou hast suffered some great wrongs.
But yes, and no. This matter of lending money hath many and grievous complications, not the least of which is the duplicity of the borrower. I but require 30 pounds to the 100 as my due recompense, and when I demand it, they respond not. But let my kindness lie under the clods of ingratitude. They shall come before the council. I will have what is mine own.
and it is not unbecoming of thee to demand it. I wist not what the present generation is coming to.
They have no sense of the value of money. They know not how to demean themselves properly in due proportion to their worldly goods, as the Lord hath prospered them. There do be some that have nothing that hold their heads above us that be worthy of our possessions.
The wicked stand in slippery places. It will not always be thus. Judgment shall come upon them.
Aye, let them fall. I, for one, have upheld them too far. They squander their means in riotous living and walk not in the ways of their fathers.
There be many such. But thou, my lad, thou art one of the multitude. As I have often observed to my Betty, thou standeth out as a most upright and God-fearing young man.
That have I ever sought to be.
An example that others would do well to imitate.
Nay, others value it not. They be envious of my good fortune.
A most prudent young man. Nay, be not so over-blushingly timid. Thou art modest.
But, Betty, dost you regard me thus?
The ways of a maid are past finding out, but despair not. I think she hath thee much to heart, but as the perverse part of women dictateth, behaveth much to the contrary.
Well, thou thinkest that...
No, that I'm sure of it. Betty was ever a dutiful daughter.
I mistrust me that her heart is elsewhere.
Thou refers to young men, and no doubt. Can never be. 'Tis but a passing fancy.
Nay, but I think Charles thinketh not so. I've been told in secret, by one who hath every opportunity to know, that he hath enjoined Goodman Shrewsbury to send for a ring.
A ring, sayest thou?
Aye, even so.
But he has not signified such intention to me.
Then there be no grounds for such rash presumption.
Grounds for a ring. There'll be no diabolical circle for the devil to dance in. I will question Betty thereon. Do thou remain here, and I will send her to thee. Oh, will she offer a daughter of mine a ring?
Good afternoon, Sir Charles. Mine host is absent.
My mission has rather to do with Mistress Betty. Is she in?
Mistress Betty is otherwise engaged, I should have thee know.
Engaged. Your humble servant, I trust, hath the supreme pleasure of that engagement.
Her father will shortly arrive.
Devil take her, father. 'Tis Mistress Betty I would see. Where is she? Prithee, why so
I
sad?
do discern no cause for such unrighteous merriment.
'Tis none the less for all of that. I take life as I find it, and for that matter, so do they all, even thou. The difference be in the finding.
Her father will shortly arrive.
Where then hath he been?
He went but in search of Betty.
Ah, then we'll wait.
Waiting may avail thee not.
And thee? Nevertheless, we'll wait.
Methinks her father's quest be fruitless.
Ah, then let us go. Nay? Then we'll wait.
'Tis certain Mistress Betty be not here.
Nay, if she be not here, then I am neither here nor there. I would wager 10 pounds to a farthing she be revealed in time if she but will it. Wilt take me up?
It be not seemly to stake thy fortune on a woman's whim.
Thou art right on it. If she will, say I. For if she will, she won't, and if she won't, she will.
False jargon. A woman has no will, but e'en her father's is a maid. A husband's later still.
Good day to you, sir.
And to you, sire.
I am deeply grieved to report that Mistress Betty is not to be found.
I prithee present my deepest regrets to Mistress Betty. I will call again.
Godspeed. Come again, my son. Betty will be here. May not be far off. I fain have her suit preferred to her will. Improve thy time.
Good morrow, sir. I will.
Where can she be? Mayhap at neighbor Ainsley.
Ha ha! Blessed relief! Thou art then in very truth flesh and blood.
And what else should I be, forsooth?
I took thee for a mummy there
What?
entombed.
Darest
A
thou?
lively mummy thou art come to, whilst I waited through the ages.
A veritable monument of patient grief.
And Adonaiah,
Yea, verily, old father time but come to life. Thy waiting may avail thee not.
in truth it may avail me not, for thy father will be back at any time, while I have much to say. Sweet
Yea,
Betty.
sweet Betty, call me not.
Dear Betty, then, the dearest.
Yea, call me dearest Mummy Hottentot, or what you will, just so it be not sweet like Adonaiah. It sickens me beyond expressing.
Then sweet Betty thou art not. Say rather sour Betty, cross Betty, mean Betty, bad Betty, mad Betty, sad Betty.
Glad Betty?
Art then so glad? Wilt tell me why? In truth, I know not whether to be glad or sad or mad. Sometimes I am but one, sometimes I am all three.
Wilt thou tell me why?
Thou wilt not now escape it, for I will tell thee why, and mayhap this will aid me. Hath this no meaning for thee?
Aye, 'tis a diabolical circle for the devil to dance in.
A what?
A diabolical circle for the devil to dance in. So Father said, likewise Adonaiah.
A diabolical circle? What? Say it again, Betty.
A diabolical circle for the devil to dance in.
May I be the devil.
Then dance. I this and I have an offer into the pot. Easy, quick.
And wilt thou incarcerate me through the ages? Oh, timely sarcophagus!
Methought I heard a sound of many feet.
2 feet have I, no more no less.
Aye, 2 be quite sufficient.
Thus says, they can beat as loud as a retreat as a whole regiment.
Well, thou dost my meaning misconstrue.
Construe it then, I prithee.
I came not here to vex.
Then get thee hence. Cannot behind me, Satan.
Yet thou drivest me to it.
Indeed, thou hast a nature born to drive, not be driven.
So be it. I scarce had hoped that thou would notice.
As I said, born to drive, but what to drive, I have not said. I will let my father have it.
Well, thy father then hath told thee.
Indeed, thou hast a nature born to drive. What aileth thee?
The time?
It doth grow late.
But not consistently, it changeth.
Was ever so time.
Of a certainty it moved,
Yet it is not uncommon.
but backwards.
Why? Then my prayers are answered. How often I have prayed and must have moved, yet hath it never come to pass.
Nay, that's thou
Prithee, calm thyself. Thou art ill.
sweet Betty. My indifference no way blinds me to thy conception of my true value. There was a time when I despaired. Again, didst mark it? Something doth ill the clock.
Truly thou art ill. Even the clock behaveth much more to the point than thou.
As I was on the point of saying, thy father hath given me to understand that thou art not averse to mine affections. Now look, mark the time!
Tarry yet a while, my son. The time doth not prevent thee.
Tarry. Time doth not prevent. Well, little knowest thou. There it is. The diabolical circle. It serves as a charm. It harms her not, while all about me is askew. Whence came she here? She neither came nor went. She wasn't there. Now she is. A manly form did enter, yet hath vanished into thin air. Yea, verily, it was none other than the devil, in one of his diverse forms, of which he hath a plenty. The very clock indulgeth in unseemly pranks. A strange influence hangs over me. I cannot now abide. I must depart from hence. My conscience bids me go. Oh, thou art mad.
Father, he is ill.
Aye, if I be mad, then thy daughter is to blame. A spell did come upon me. I have seen strange things.
What meanest thou?
Thy daughter is a witch.
Oh, Father.
Darest thou to bring forth such an accusation?
Aye. Will I yet have strength to order mine own will? We shall see when the fires leap round the stake. All the diabolical circles the devil may invent or his helpmeets acquire will be of small avail when the leaping tongues of flame curl round you, false servant of the devil. I can delay no longer. I must repair to the council at once and report what I have seen.
Thou goest to the council. Thou lackest evidence. Behold the devil, and thou wilt. And thou goest to the council with such a message, the devil will dog thy very footsteps, and match word of thine with word of truth in such a light that thine own words shall imprison thee in the stocks over Sunday.
Fool!
Offer me for a witch?
Aye, let them try it and they will.
I let them. But how camest thou here? It seemed to me thou materialized out of thin air.
Nay, see through me, and thou canst. Thou wilt find me a most material shadow, the like of which no eye hath ever pierced. 'Twas not out of the air, but out of yonder clock that I materialized.
Yea, Father. I put him there.
The truth, the evidence all told is here. Thou wert a certainty in the clock. As far as pendulums are concerned, thou art no improvement.
Aye, that'll warrant it. May I never more be called to fill such a position, the likes of which be too exacting of one of my build and constitution.
What extremity hath induced thee to take up thine abode in such a place?
Why, that came all in the course of events, as I take it. When I returned here a short time ago, hard on mine heels came Adonijah, and, being loath either to leave the field or share it, I hid within the clock. Once there, the temptation to help time to cover its course grew strong upon me, in the hope that Adonijah, being misled by the lateness of the hour, would soon depart. Only I looked not for such a departure. Judge me not too harshly, sire, for I love thy daughter. And if thou wouldst give consent to our marriage, I would do all that becometh a man to deserve such treasure.
I like not thy frivolous way of wearing hair that is not thine. And I strongly mistrust the attitude toward the more serious things in life.
If my wig standeth between me and my heart's desire, why, I'll have no wig at all. As for mine outlook on life, I warrant thee that it matched the outer trappings and can be doffed as quickly. I am as serious, beneath all outward levity, as any sober-minded judge, and can act accordingly.
See to it that thou suit the action to those words. My heart is strangely moved toward thee, yet I would ponder the matter more deeply. And where is thy voice, my daughter? Thou art strangely silent for the once, but it was small wonder since thou had enough excitement for one evening. Methinks that scoundrel Adonijah needeth following up. Do thou remain with Betty, Charles, and I will hasten after him.
Nay, thou needst not concern thyself with the likes of Adonijah. He hath much too wholesome a regard for the ducking stool to cause any further mischief.
Nevertheless, I will weigh in the council and make sure.
And now to finish where we left off. The devil hath led us a merrier dance than we would have suspected. Thou hast truly not given answer to the question I have asked of thee.
And what more of an answer wouldst thou yet require?
Why, yet I have had none at all.
Must tell thee further.
Thou must.
Then put the question once again.
Thou knowest the question, and thou wilt.
And thou knowest the answer. Look, Charles, a diabolical circle.
Howdy. Let me tell you a story about our little town. You see, we're a very close-knit community, and we celebrate together throughout the year. There was one year, though, that was most infamously memorable. It was the second year the new school marm was here, and one of the years Floyd Summers was in charge of the lottery.
Floyd! Floyd! Floyd Summers, you get up out of that chair.
Oh, fine Sam, yeah.
Well, of course it ain't. No, it's lottery day. You get up.
I know.
Now, Mrs. Martin, you eat the rest of your cereal.
I don't want no more.
Well, you best eat your cereal because you're not going to get anything with sandwiches till supper time.
Sandwiches?
You heard me. I am not cooking 3 hot meals on lottery day.
All right, Daisy, that's enough for the chickens.
Shoot!
Come on now, daughter. We got a short cake for the cows, and we won't be back all day.
Ma, can we do just like Sunday for church?
Yep, all folks be lined up for the lottery.
Excuse me a second. Where's my collar stud? Who took my collar stud?
You're just some prep, grandsire. It's down to you somewhere.
If I can't find my collar stud, I ain't going. 77 years I've been in the lottery, never missed a one. Daisy, you find my collar stud for me, you hear? I was staying with the Hutchinsons that year on account of some lumbago. Nice enough family. Bill was a little strange, but Tessie and Daisy was nice enough. Anyways, I left for town long before they did because I was anxious to get to the lottery. The lottery was on the morning of June 27th. It was clear and sunny with the fresh warmth of a full summer day. Flowers were blossoming, and the grass on the town green over by the bandstand was a nice, warm summer green. The folks from town and the farmers from within the township line began to arrive on the square between the post office and the bank by about 10 o'clock. And school was out for the summer, and so the kids arrived early as well to chase around the board sidewalk, as kids will do. Some of the folks that were already sitting in front of the post office swapping stones. One fella had his pockets just full of nice, round, smooth ones. Others stood away from them, talking among themselves and watching them over their shoulders. The youngest kids were rolling around in the dust, or they clung to the hands of their older brothers and sisters. Oh, here comes the school marm now.
Oh, morning, Janet. Miss Wills.
Morning, Mr. Summers.
Nice day for the library, ain't it?
Yes.
I'd bring up no bill this week. That started a day ahead to get it done. 200 families.
Is that right?
Yep. Got to hustle to get the lottery over with up there. Won't take us more than maybe a couple hours.
It seems longer.
Yeah, that's the way it is with the lottery. I was talking it over with Miss Delacroix. Space makes time go slow.
Not slow enough.
You draw this here, don't you?
I guess so.
Yep, that's the rule, all right. Stranger in town draws his or her second year.
Morning, Mr. Summers. Jenna. Ma'am.
Morning, Miss Delacroix. In early, I see.
Well, you know, I don't get up to the village very often. Clients like to leave the stock. You gonna have the store open after?
Most likely. Didn't used to be done.
Well, you get to be modern. Say that. Excuse me, the Martinses just came in. You've got to find day for it, though. That's a fact.
Come on, Pop. Can we go no faster? We'll miss everything.
Oh, don't worry about it, Daisy. We'll get there in plenty of time.
I can't wait to go into summer store after to look at some patterns. Agnes Delacroix told me he's got some new ones in short-waisted figures.
Let's not talk about it, Tessie.
What do you mean? I have that flowered stuff left over from last year, and if I can get a good pattern.
I don't want to talk about after.
Come on, Pop. Can we go no faster?
All right, boys. Up there, giddy up there. That's right, boys. I was talking to Jenny Withers.
The school teacher?
Mm-hmm. She's got a draw this year.
Well, I mean, it's only right. It is her second year in town.
I was telling her I was thinking of packing up and moving out.
Bill Hutchinson, are you crazy?
Yeah, I told her I was going to pack the wagon, tie the stock on it, and just move on out.
And just leave the farm?
Mm-hmm. I was going to do it the day before the lottery.
But where would you go? Where would you settle? I mean, your family's been farming that ground since who knows when.
Yes, I know, but I was going to pack it, but it's too late now.
Oh, Bill, you talk the same way every year. There's no sense to it.
No, there's no sense to it.
No, a woman sees things like this, clear. You just don't think about it, is all. You come in from the lottery, and then after you go up into summer store, buy something nice, talk to people. Why don't you think about it like that, Bill?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But school teacher agrees with me, though. Go on, get up there, boys.
That's how you do it. That's what, Pop. Hurry up. Let's go.
Soon the men began together, standing around, joking and looking at the kids and talking about planting and tractors and rain and taxes, you know. Daisy and a couple of other kids had made this great big pile of stones on the other side of the square, and they were playing King of the Hill on it. The men stood away from them, watching. And their jokes were quiet, and they smiled rather than laughed.
They're nice folks, ain't they, Jenna?
Yes, they're nice.
You know, you just don't see people all together except on lottery day. Of course, there's Sundays at church, but some go to Congregationalists and some go to Baptists and folks like Del Troy, well, they just don't go nowhere.
Morning, Mr. Summers.
Morning, Tessie. I got those pens in.
Well then, I'll be over right after.
Jenna.
Morning.
I want to talk to you.
Hello, Summers. Oh, morning. Don't mind me. I'm just checking the box so with drawing on. Oh, morning, Charlie. How's folks?
Well, it's today. Yeah. You gonna draw? I've got you. What's the rules? You said you wouldn't. You sat there in the post office and said you wouldn't. I know, but I'd have to leave town. You know, it isn't easy to get another school this late. Well, you only draw for yourself. Tessa keeps talking about after. Starts getting me sweating. She keeps talking about getting some pattern up in summer stores. Short waisted, she said. I suppose you get used to it. I suppose if you've always had it, you don't think about it much. I don't. I lived in the village all my life. I don't get used to it. Pop, can I stay with the others? Can I stay with them? No, Daisy, I said you have to stay with the family. Pop, but all the other kids got all the stones. Can I stay with them? Daisy, I said. Daisy! Daisy, come here! Look at that. She's having fun. These kids are having fun. Why? That's what I want to know. Why? You're a farmer. You know the answer. You can't tell me you can't find these in books. It stands to reason you find these in books, don't it? This isn't my part of the country, Hutchinson. I don't make the rules. Well, it don't stand to reason that you don't find out the truth. That's all I ask. You can't argue with folks about the lottery. I've tried. No, you can't. Well, now stay forward.
Oh, excuse me, this is where I come in. It ain't right! I've been telling him year after year, it just ain't right.
Now take it easy, inside.
Now, you listen to me, Floyd Summers. I'm the oldest man in the village. I've been to the lottery 77 years. 77 years!
Yeah, I know that, Mr. Warner, but
Don't butt me. No, sir, don't you butt me, Floyd Summers. I know what the lottery ought to have. It ought to be chips of wood. One chip for each family, all put in the brown box.
can't do that anymore, grandson. The box ain't big enough.
Well, that's how it was when I was a boy. Chips of wood. None of this bitty pieces of paper. How can you have a lottery with paper?
Oh, there's just too many folks in the village from chips of wood anymore, grandson.
Nobody pays any mind to the old ways anymore. There ought to be marching, too. Oh, yeah, I remember marching and somebody chanting on it. That's what ought to happen on lottery day.
That was a long time ago, grandson. Nobody remembers that anymore.
Yes, well, that's the trouble, isn't it? Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers. Now, you take that box.
Oh, it's cracking. We ought to make a new one.
A new one? Did you hear that? A new box. Why, that box was used for the lottery in my father's time. And he told me pieces of it were made to use the box that they used. Now, listen to me, Floyd Summers. You're in charge of that box. Yet last year I saw it lying in Mrs. Martin's barn. And this year was on a shelf in your store. Now, is that any way to treat that box? No, they don't run the lottery like they used to. Hey, I've been to 77 lotteries, and I ought to know.
Tessie, come here.
Excuse me, ladies.
Absolutely, Tessie.
Tessie, what are the bells?
Where's Daisy?
Oh, she's over there with the other children playing.
Get her over here.
Why?
We're hitching up and we're getting out.
No, they have to wait till after the drawing. We can't leave now.
After, don't you understand? Suppose.
Oh, Bill, I'm surprised at what. No one else is acting this way. You gotta take it as it comes. You're a farmer, you know that.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you didn't go on and on when the hog died of cholera a year before last, right before killing time. You just went on.
But that's different. You can't help if stock gets sick.
See, that's what I mean.
You won't go.
No, I won't. And neither will you. You know,
I don't get into the into the village often, and lottery day is one of the only days I can come to see all the other women talk. We're not going until it's all over and done with. Oh, Bill, you talk like lottery day is something unusual. It happens every year. It always has.
The lottery was conducted, as was the square dances and the teenage club and the Halloween program, by Floyd Summers, who had the time and energy to devote to civic affairs. And the people felt sorry for him because he had no children, and well, you know his wife. His wife was a shrew. Anyway, Floyd was in the middle of the square, fixing the box and getting ready to set up and bounce it on a small table.
What do you folks want to get in here with this here box? Julie!
All right, Floyd.
Yeah, just hold on to that corner. Stay there. Pivot! Pivot! Perfect! Woo! Right. We're going to do the fair and square just like always. Now, last night, cold company office, Mrs. Martin and I looked over the slips of paper.
That'll be chips of wood. What kind of peasant order can you have with slips of...
Don't you interrupt Mr. Summer.
They're in the box here. Anybody wants to, get all them out and check them over. I'm out for the swearing in. Mrs. Martin will miss the as always. I expect as usual, a wave election.
Didn't used to be no election neither. Used to pass from father to son.
All right. All right. You, Floyd Summers, solemnly swear to carry out the duties of this lottery without fear, favor, prejudice, bias, or any other untoward acts of omission or commission, so help you.
I do.
That's right, Floyd. Well, it's done.
Now, I expect we're ready. Let's do it as normal. Drawn by families as according to the rules.
Okay, hold on, somebody's coming.
Let's interrupt you.
Good
morning!
Well, how do you like that? She clean forgot what day it was. Oh, hello, Tess. Well, that's that. I was afraid all that stomp and stuff and stuff would slow us down good.
Oh, well, no worry about that. We're making good time. I mean, look, they're still talking away up there. And it ain't even noon yet.
We are beginning, Mrs. Martin. Now, you just go and take your place with your family over there.
My hands are wet from sweating. I always get nervous at these things.
Well, now, I suppose we better get started. Let's get this stage quickly so we can get back to work. Now, ain't everybody here? Huh? Well, now, let's just stand back. Oh, this ain't the drawing. I'm just checking the list over. You know, see? Now then. Heirs. And oops. Well, let's see. How's it missed last Saturday?
I suppose you're a little nervous, huh, Mrs. Martin? Well, there's nothing to be worried about. It's going to be completely fine.
Well, Tess, between you and me, with my husband jacked up at home with these 8 years, all the pressure is on me for the Lord.
Delacroix! Delacroix!
Where's Delacroix?
Delacroix! Come on!
Where's Delacroix? Clyde broke his leg, didn't he? Now who's drawing for him?
Well, I guess I'm drawing this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the rule. Wife draws a husband. Excepting you got a grown ball to do it for you, haven't you?
Now, Floyd Summers, you know perfectly well that Horace is not yet 16. So I guess I have to draw for the old man this year.
All right. I got that checked over. Boxing more from this year. Yeah. Oh, morning, Charlie. Glad to see the mother's got a man to do it for her. I suppose old man Warren's here.
You know darn well I'm here, Floyd Summers. I was just talking to you. I ain't missed the lottery in 77 years.
Yeah, okay, I'm just joking, no rush. Well, now, looks like we got that list checked over. All the rest is straight families. Listen, anybody's got anything to add? We're ready for the draw!
All right, perfect.
All right,
let's go.
Now then. Adams. Yeah, Hasty, just pick anyone you want. Don't look at it till after. Next up. Adamson. Adamson.
It seems like they changed the order of drawing, don't it?
Adamson.
No, I'm not sure drawing's the same order as it's always been.
It seems like there's no time between lotteries anymore. It seems like we got through the one last year, only last week. I declare, the way time flies.
Time sure does flash out. That's a fact.
Delacroix. Delacroix.
Oh, there goes my name. Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. It'll be fine.
Delacroix.
Excuse
Delacroix.
me. Get it going.
Come on, Agnes, you're holding us up.
I'm coming. Hold your horses. You know, folks shouldn't hold up the lottery. It takes up a perfectly good afternoon as this. Last year, I didn't have time for half the things I wanted to do in town.
You're right, Tessie. My old man says he don't like lottery day. I always run the bill up at summer store, sky high.
Withers! Jana Withers!
Well, there goes the school marm.
I'm not going to draw, Mr. Summers.
What? Now, Jenna, you know the rules. This is your second year in the village.
I know, but I'm not going to draw.
Now, don't be contrary.
Everybody draws. Everybody takes their chance in the lottery. What makes you special, school marm?
Well, I don't believe in it.
That's that point, you know it.
Listen to her. She don't believe in the lottery. You hear that? Why, we've always had the lottery. Everybody knows that. Always have and always will.
Well, over in the North Village, they're talking giving up the lottery.
Pack of crazy fools in North Village. Listen to this idiot. Nothing's good enough for her. Next thing you know, she'll be wanting us to live in caves and not work anymore. So live like that for a while and see what happens.
They don't have the lottery where I come from.
Well, yeah, well, maybe so, but we ain't fools, not here. Used to be a saying. Lottery in June, corn will grow soon.
That's right.
You listen to her. You listen to her with her books and her ciphering, and next thing you know, we'll be eating stewed chickweed and acorns.
Oh, that's right, grandsire.
Yeah. We've always had the lottery. Bad enough, it ain't what it used to be. What with Floyd Summers up there joking and all, but we've always had the lottery.
But why? I'm telling you, they stopped it over with more villages every year. And the criminal was just as high.
Nothing but trouble in that pack of fools.
Now, you ain't no farmer, Withers. Old man Warner's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Lottery in June, corn will grow soon. And by the way, that's always been. You can't get around that school arm. Lottery in June.
But can't you see there's no reason for it? No reason. Year after year for generations on June 27th. You know what I think? If you're not trying to use reasons for blind obedience to a crazy outworn tradition.
All right, everybody. Now be proud enough, Jenna. You spoke your piece. Now let's get back to business. Rules say that if anyone bumps, the committee drops 4. Now ain't that right, folks?
That's right. Absolutely.
That's right.
Now I'm going to call your name again, regular and proper. If it's still mute, we'll go right on and draw for you. Now, which is it?
All right. I'll draw.
Fine. All right, next one. Hudson. Bill Hudson.
Get on up there, Bill. There goes your man, Tessie. Imagine the school marm making such a fuss.
better than us or something? Everyone draws a lot. It's ridiculous.
All right, next, the last one.
Yes, sir. Here I am.
All right, calm down, take it easy, don't rush.
This makes the 77th year I've been in the lottery. Yes, sir. 77 years.
Try a slip. Ow.
Yep.
All right, it's all done. Mrs. Martin, close the box.
Well, who's got it? What family?
Grandson, let me see your paper.
You let go of me here. I can take care of myself.
That's not. Well, for heaven's sake, what family has it? Who's got it?
All right, everybody, calm down, take it easy. Let's do this orderly now. Come on, calm down. Now, what family has the black slip?
It's the Hutchinsons. Look, Bill Hutchinson has it. Oh, Sally, you might tell your pa it's the Hutchinsons.
No. It's not fair. It's not fair. Lloyd Summers, I saw you. You didn't give him time to choose whatever slip he wanted. I saw you. It wasn't fair.
Now, Tessie, be a good sport.
We all took the same choice.
But it wasn't fair.
Shut up, Tessie. You can't be doing.
Well, now, everybody, that was nice. Pretty nice. Just about 1 hour and 2 minutes. Now, that is hard, so we get back full new.
But it wasn't fair.
Bill, you drop for Hutchinson's family, don't you? You got any other households in the house?
Oh, there's Don and Ava. They're part of the family. Please make them take their chance. Make them drop.
Now, Tessie, Ava's your daughter, but she's married now. Daughter's from the Hudson's families. You know that as well as anyone else.
But it's not fair. Please.
Well, Lloyd, I guess it's only fair that my daughter draws with her husband.
Well, now, Bill.
I guess it's just us, Lloyd. Daisy, Tessie, me.
All right, now, as far as drawing the family is concerned, well, that's you. And as far as drawing the household is concerned, that's you too.
Yeah, that's right.
Miss Martin, you got the tickets to Hutchins family. All 3 of them. You got the ticket back?
I got them. They're in the box.
All set then.
Wait. I think we ought to start over. Please, you know it's not fair. Please, there wasn't time. You didn't have time.
Have to get on now. Are you ready, Bill?
Oh, please help me, please. You don't understand. It wasn't fair.
Ready, Bill.
Ready.
Daisy draws first, then you, then Tessa. Now, everybody got that? Hello, Daisy.
Come on, Daisy.
Yes, Pop. I just believe you can see it wasn't fair. Please help me.
Tessie, don't make a fuss. It ain't fitting.
All right. Bill, you keep tickets hold so I can check. Come on, Bill.
Go on, girl.
Now, Daisy, I want you to get a piece of paper out of this here box and hold it tight. You understand?
Mr. Summers.
Big now. Just one paper, Daisy.
I got one.
That's good. Now you better hold them, Miss Martin.
All set.
All right. Bill, one paper. That's right. Now, Tessie.
Oh, please.
Oh,
There
Tessie,
wasn't
you
time.
have to draw.
No,
This is
please.
the way. This is
Come
the
on,
way.
Tessie.
Do it. All right. Excuse me. I really hope it's not the child that
That just would not be right.
No, it ain't like it used to be. Ought to be chips of wood. Lottery ain't what it used to be. People ain't what they used to be either.
All right, everybody, let's have everyone go through the ticks now.
Come on, Daisy. Open your paper.
There's nothing on it.
Wow! Wow. All right, Bill.
Not as late.
Well, then I guess it's Tessie then.
No, please. It's not fair, please. Please, no, it's not fair.
No, it's paper, Bill. It's just the rules.
You have to open your hand. You have to open your hand.
Yeah, it's Tessie, all right.
There's nothing I can do. Just let me leave. I'm going over by the pile of stuff, all right?
All right, folks. Let's say this quickly.
We best hurry and go get some stuff before all the good ones are gone.
So Daisy will save one for me.
You best hurry though, she's gonna be running soon.
Please, you know it's not right. Please, no, you know it's not fair. Please.
I'm sorry. You know what they say, lottery in June, corner girl soon.
That's not true. Please, you know that's not true. Please.
Here, Mrs. Martin. Here's a stone for you.
That's a nice girl, Daisy. Ooh, what a nice big stone.
Well, you go ahead and go on, I'll catch up with you. Can't run without his rheumatiz in my knees.
All right. Oh, there's Daisy.
Daisy, come here.
That's fair.
Now, Daisy, you know how to throw the stone, right? Aim for the head, quickly dip.
Sure.
Okay, you come along with me.
I don't risk the fun. You've got to run after mine now, huh?
That's right. Now, come on.
No, please. Please, everybody, please listen. It's not fair. They didn't have time. Please, you know it's not right.
Come on, everybody.
No, please. No, please.
Okay, Daisy, throw your stone.
Please,
Throw your stone, Daisy.
please, you know it's not right. Please, please.
Throw your stone. Throw your stone.
Please, stop. No, no.
It was all over by noon. The sun was hot, so the men gathered by the blacksmith shop, smoking and talking about tractors, and planting, and rain, taxes. The women gathered at summer stores and bought yard goods and notions and patterns. And the children played in the dust, throwing pebbles at each other. Well, the lottery is over for that year. Lottery in June. Quarter goes soon. Next year, next June 27th, well, maybe we'll learn. Maybe we'll begin to reason. Maybe we'll begin to understand that just because our fathers and their fathers before them pick people out of the lottery doesn't mean we have to just because we've always done it that way. Maybe we'll learn to reason. Maybe there won't be a lottery next year. It's up to all of us. But chances are there will be.
Everybody, we appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to mill around. There was some Keston sessions still on sale if you need some caffeine to get home with. But thank you so much for being here.